Welcome back to the From Corporate to Good podcast, the podcast for high-achieving women ready to turn their expertise into income and build a thriving coaching business working only 5 intentional hours a week. I'm your host, Isaline Rosier, and today we're going to speak about one question that I get all the time. Where do I even start if I want to build a coaching business? So if you are new to this, or if you feel a little bit overwhelmed or maybe a lot, trust me, I've got you. Let's rewind my very beginning. When I started my business, I wasn't sitting in some peaceful, well-lit office with a fancy mic and 3 perfect hours to map my dream niche. I was pregnant, coach bound with nausea, and Googling how to make money coaching when you have only 5 hours available. Real life was very much happening. But here's one thing that I realized. I didn't need more time. What I needed was a better plan. So if you are brand new to coaching, and maybe you have heard that the very first thing that you need to do is to pick your niche first. But I'm going to flip that for you. Here's the very first step that you need to take in order to build your coaching business. Before we even speak about niche, ideal client, offer, I really want you to actually get honest with yourself. What do you love doing? Not what your resume says, not what your degree prepare you for, but what do you actually enjoy doing? That question is super important because when I started out my business, I was thinking that, I need to do something serious to be legit. But what lit me up was really helping women reclaiming time for themselves. Not just productivity hacks, but soul level permission to live without guilt. And yeah, the people around me, and even my husband, when I told them what I wanted to do, they told me there is no market for that. And the spoiler is that they were wrong because that's how I started my business and that's how I started to make money and get client. So you really need to ask yourself, what do I love helping people with? What do I always find myself talking about or giving advice on? What would I be thrilled to get paid? The thing is, you are not only building a business just to make money. You are building a business that you actually want to show up for, a business that you love, a business that lifts you up. So if it's organizing, mindset, parenting, whatever it is, it's valid. Don't let someone outside of your target audience tell you that it's not, because the people outside of your target audience are not going to buy from you. You only want to listen to your ideal client because they're going to tell you exactly what they want and what they need from you. When you are clear on exactly what you love to do, here's the second step. You need to figure out who is your dream client. And here I really want you to be specific. I have seen so many coaches saying, I help women. I help women is not enough. I want you to be super specific, like really specific, such as what kind of woman? How old is she? Is she in corporate? Is she retirees? Is she an entrepreneur? Does she have kids? What keep her awake at night? You not only need to know the demographic, but you also need to know the psychographic, how she thinks, what is she motivating her, what is in her head during the day, what is in her head during the night. For instance, my ideal client, I know that she's juggling meetings, meal prep, and maybe a mind of existential crisis. She's brilliant, capable, hustling out about doing everything for everyone, but she's not looking for fluff. When she's working with me, she wants a plan, a space to breathe while she follows it. And that's exactly what I teach with my 5-hour business blueprint. I'm teaching her how to fit a coaching business inside of her life. Also, if I can add an extra tip to that, is that I really want you to be cautious about the words that you are using, like overwhelmed, burnout, because the fact is when your clients are really overwhelmed or really deep into burnout, they are not able to take action. You want to work with someone who is ready to make a change because that's how you will get results. That's how you will build really momentum. But if they are so into their burnout or so overwhelmed that they are not able to take action, you will never be able to actually get them the transformation that they are going to pay you for. And you are always going to micromanage them in order to be able to take action. And that's not a type of coach that you want. You want to guide client, but you want your client to be able to take action on their own. Step 3. You need to get clear on the transformation that you are creating. And you need to ask yourself, what is my ideal client secretly wishing for? What can I help her achieve that she hasn't been able to do on her own? Maybe it's feeling confident enough to launch her first offer. Maybe it's her first 2K coaching client. Maybe it's reclaiming 5 hours a week that were lost in meeting or laundry. Here's a real story. One of my client, Melissa, came to me and she was convinced that she didn't have the time for a business. She had 3 kids. She had a demanding job. She barely had time to shower. And we mapped out our 5 hours of focus work. Fast forward, what happened? She got paid client, she got the confidence, and she still hasn't quit her job because she didn't need it to. That's the transformation. I help her build a coaching business while having only 5 hours available a week. And that's something that she wanted, and that's something that she couldn't achieve on her own. You want to make sure that you are going to help your client achieve something that they are not succeeding to do on their own, and you will be the right guide for that. Okay, now you're clear on what you love, on your ideal client, on the transformation. The step 4 is to understand what is making you different. Here's the key. There are a lot of coaches out there, but there is only one you. So you want to actually be clear on what do you want to be known for. What is your signature twist? Is it your 5-minute declutter method, that your therapy-informed mindset coaching, your ability to cut through chaos and help clients take imperfect action? You need to figure out what it is. What is making you unique? Just need to be clear. And whatever it is, you need to own it, because your uniqueness is your superpower. So make sure to understand exactly what is making you unique on the market and what do you want to be known for, because that is going to be your recipe to actually be visible and be known. Then step 5, you need to stop guessing and start asking. This is key. I have seen so many new coaches try to dream up their ideal client in their head. I don't want you to do that. I want you to talk to real people. I want you to interview your ideal client, ask them real question, use their exact word in your content. You want your audience to read your copy and say, oh my God, she's in my head. That's when you know that it's working. But in order to be able to get there, you need to stop guessing and you need to start creating connection with your ideal client and really understanding them better than they know themselves. So let's do a quick recap. If you are starting from scratch, you need to focus on what you love and what you are great at. Will you help and be specific? You need to understand what is the transformation that you are creating, and it needs to be clear. You need to be clear on what is making you stand out in the market, and you need to ask your people what they need. And if you are ready for a shortcut, and if you are sitting there wondering, okay, great, Isaline, that sounds amazing, but where do I even begin? Make sure to DM me 5 on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and I will walk you through it. No fluff. And if you found this episode valuable, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow corporate woman who needs to hear this. And if you feel called to, take a screenshot, share it on Instagram, and tag me. I would love to hear your biggest takeaway. Until next time, trust your voice, claim your space, and let's build a business that sets you free.